inshallah. And the book is 5,000. I should have brought more. See, I didn't. Yeah, but I didn't know how many people were coming, so I didn't bring. Yes. Yes. I have a lot. I didn't bring enough. Yeah, she's leaving soon, isn't it? Oh, you're not leaving soon, right? No, next week. No, inshallah. Thank you. MashaAllah, mashallah. Okay, now we can start our class. We are on. We're doing this book, and also I have these books to give out for free. If you're some da'wah in your countries about the siwak, it's in English. It's in English. So I was like, and I just like some stuff in my house that I need to give out. Okay. So, someone, Kak Salina put all her free books with me. So I just gave out right now. This thing. It's been in my house for like since Kak Salina was here. So I just at one corner not moving. So then suddenly I should pass it to Dara students, right? So I wrote today. Should I buy it to you first, eh? So I didn't pass it out. Inshallah, inshallah. Okay. Jazakallah khair. It's in English. Oh, this is in English. Yeah. Is it in English, right? Is it in English or Malay? It's in English. It's in English. Salina gave it to me. Kak Salina gave it to me. Before she left Tarim, Kak Salina gave me a pile of things. Yes. It's from her also. She gave me like a books to give out. So I just have it all in my shelf. Alhamdulillah. Rezeki lah, I guess. This morning it occurred to me to bring it. Rezeki, mashallah. Okay, we'll start. So for those of you new to this class, the dua is at the beginning of the book, right? This is a dua that is usually recited by Habib Mashhur. Habib Mashhur, the father of Hawaba, Maryam, and Mashhur. So the Habib Mashhur, the oldest brother of Habib Omar. You know, this morning, Habib Mashhur, Abu Ali Mashhur, the oldest brother of Habib Omar and Hafiz. This morning, mashallah, this morning I went to Zambal this morning with Anisa, because she's leaving next week. So she texted me this morning, she said she want to go Zambal, and she asked me if I want to go with her. So I said, yeah, of course. Nobody turns down a Zambal trip. So we went to Zambal, we were at Al-Faqih Muqaddam. And then on our way there, she was saying she's been trying to get adjusted with Habib Omar. Because before you leave Tarim, you want to meet Habib Omar and just ask some direction, what to do in your country, how to handle your children. Usually, for me, before I left, also the last time around, I had Jalsa with Omar, my husband. And we had some questions to ask about da'wah and everything in our countries, what we should focus on and so on. So she's been trying to get Habib, but because of the dawrah and people and everything, so many guests in Tarim. So she's saying it's so difficult, and she feels so bad trying to, force a jalsa because his schedule is so packed, Habib Omar. So she was saying to me, Anisa, saying she be waiting last night. It was Aisha. Is Habib free? And then Habib going to Indonesia some more, right? He's going off to Indonesia already. So she's like, never mind, it's okay. You don't want to, impose on Habib because he's very, very busy. Just now we were at Zambal, we were at Al-Faqih Muqaddam. Then all of a sudden, there was not a huge group, but a small group of men. They're walking from Imam Al-Haddad side, from towards Al-Faqih Muqaddam. We were on the other side. The woman sit on this side, and then we were on this side. And so me and Anisa were here. Like, and I saw, so she was reading her Yasin, I was reading my Yasin. And then I saw like a group of men coming. And then I looked, Habib Omar, the first one walking was Habib Omar. It was so near because he was like, this is Zambal, right? It's okay, Muqaddam. We're here. Habib was right in front of us. And he raised his hands. So he stood right in front of me and Anisa. And Anisa was crying already. Just crying. And I was trying to, and Anisa was like, should we stand? And I said, I don't know, because so many men. And then do you remain seated? Do you stand? I said, I think you remain seated. I don't think we stand, because you stand, you're going to show your entire body, kan? So no, we remain seated. Then Habib Omar, in fact, he did his dua this morning. Because Habib is going off to Indonesia. So usually they will go to Zambal and they go off already. So they even think, we saw him there. He was literally like where you are at, Kalin, a bit further lah. He was there and we were here. because it's okay muqaddam lah, the small narrow on this side kan.
In that situation, I would just
Can, because the haiba is so strong, the energy is so strong, Habib. He's just a few steps away from us. On the woman's side, he was on the men's side, and then he dua, right, and then he did the Fatiha, the Fatiha. Then he came to the Habib Alawi, the son of Fakir Muqaddam, is on this side, right? So he went there. So he was like really nearer. So we were like, should we move? This is the moment. Just take the moment. Just take the moment. Then Habib came there. He did his Fatiha there again. Then he left. Then that's right. And then I said to Anissa, you got your jalsa. This is your jalsa. Habib Umar. He made his dua. But Barakatillah, go off, go back to your country, and all good for you. It's fine, but it's in the Muqaddam, the best place in Zamban. So I was like, this is really things that you don't plan. You just go there because you want to see Zamban. You want to go to Zamban. Habib Omar's there. I've never been to Zamban and seen Habib Omar there. So usually he goes on Fridays, and it's full of men. So I've never actually gone to Zamban and seen Habib Omar at Zamban. So then he's going out of Tarim. So they were always, I suspect because he's there at an hour that he's usually not. Is it? I don't know. But he went in the morning. Because usually the way here in Tarim, the last thing they do in Tarim is go to Al-Faqih Muqaddam. Before they travel, right? The last thing they do in Tarim. So I don't know. This morning around, I was there at 30 a.m. in the morning. I went to Anissa at 6:35. Right. So around there in the morning. Yeah. Now. Like, I can hear you, sorry. Habib Omar, usually you ask for a jalsa if you have like a big problem to decide on. And then again, it's only based on whether he has time to give. And usually, like if you're a student who's been for quite some time, like, and this has been for 4 years, right? So for me, I also was here for 4 years previously, and you're going back to your country, have certain questions with regards to da'wah that you want to ask, right? So you are guided in how you do your da'wah. Yeah, so usually you try, but mashallah, if you get his Fatiha, it's all done. If you already, you don't have to ask anything else. It's all guided, mashallah. So I was just saying that so we're just going to do the dua here, right? And we're going to class. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. اللهم صل وسلم على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه في كل لحظة أبدا على نعم الله وأفضاله. اللهم آتنا من لدنك رحمة وعلمنا من لدنك علما. سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم. بسم الله الرحمن ونتعلم وتعليم وتذكر وتذكير والنفع والانتفاع والإفادة والاستفادة والحث على التمسك بكتاب الله وسنة رسوله صلى الله عليه وآله وصحبه وسلم ودعاء إلى الهدى ودلالة على الخير ابتغاء وجه الله وقربي وثوابي سبحانه وتعالى مع لطف وعافية برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. اللهم إنا نسألك علم لدني مشرب صافي الهاني يا وهاب يا غني. اللهم إنا نسألك علم لدني مشرب صافي الهاني يا وهاب يا غني. اللهم إنا نسألك علم لدني مشرب صافي الهاني يا وهاب يا غني. اللهم صل وسلم على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. اللهم ألهمنا علما نفقه به أوامرك ونواهيك فهما نعرف به كيف نناجيك يا أرحم الراحمين. اللهم إنا نسألك فهم النبيين وحفظ المرسلين وإلهام الملائكة المقربين في عافية يا أرحم الراحمين. اللهم أغننا بالعلم وزينا بالحلم وأكرمنا بالتقوى وجملنا بالعافية يا أرحم الراحمين. صلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. اللهم إنا نستودعك ما قرأناه وما نقرأه في هذا المجلس ما قبل وما بعده فاحفظه علينا حتى ترده إلينا وقت احتياجنا إليه يا أرحم الراحمين. اللهم أكرمنا بالنور الفهم ظلمات الوهم وافتح لنا أبواب رحمتك وانشر علينا حكمتك يا الرحمن الرحيم آمين. وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. اللهم يا من مقاليد الأمور كلها بيده وإليه يرجع الأمر كله، يا فتاح يا عليم، يا فتاح يا عليم، يا فتاح يا عليم، افتح علينا فتحا قريبا. وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي وسدد لساني واهدي قلبي وعلى كذلك بأحبابي أبدا، وارزقنا كمال فتوح العارفين والفقه في الدين مع كمال الإخلاص واليقين والعافية والغنى والنصر والحفظ والنفع والانتفاع وخير دارين وعلوم الأولين والآخرين آمين. صلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم والحمد لله رب العالمين. الفاتحة. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين. إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين. اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين آمين يا رب العالمين. الحمد لله الحمد لله الحمد لله. Okay, we're on page 39, should be 39, I think. Page 39. Page 39. Page 39. So this we began, I think, in February or January, right, this year. So, but we're still at page 39, mashallah. I think the first lesson of the class, I actually went through the dua that is usually recited by the Faqih and by, it's from Habib Mashula, by Mashula. We'll always do these du'as, this set of du'as before every class, for openings, for understandings, for knowledge from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, right, for to deepen your grasp or to strengthen your grasp on this knowledge. So it's a dua that we get from Habib, right? It's from Habib Mashhur. It's a compilation of du'as, and a lot of which comes from Rasulullah alaihi wasallam. There are in these du'as, those that come from hadith of Rasulullah sallam, and some of these du'as come from the words of the righteous, the Salaf, the Salih. So, and I went through also the beginning of the book about Imam al-Haddad. Right, because it's Imam al-Haddad's book. We're also going into Imam Ahmad Marzuqi as well. Right, so the first text, you can see there are two texts in this book. The first one is General Creed, right, Al-Aqidah Al-Mujmala, and the other text is Jala'ul Afham, Sharah Aqidat Al-Awam, which is by Imam Ahmad Marzuqi. So there are two texts, right, two main texts that you learn, the first books you hear in the Zahra. So when someone comes to the Zahra, the first books of Aqidah that they learn are these books. Right? And we are going through these books, mashallah, because Muniba, she pointed to open up these classes, and as well as the need, the desperate need, right, for us to renew our Aqidah, our knowledge in Aqidah, because it is the way it is prophesied by Rasulullah at the end of times, that people will lose their religion quickly. In the Akhir Zaman, they'll wake up as believers, come to the evening, or in the evening, believers come to the morning as disbelievers. They will sell religion for some measly gain of this dunya. Right? So because of that, the study of Aqidah should be emphasized, and we should be continuously studying Aqidah over and over and over again, right? Because from the words of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, where he says sallallahu alaihi wasallam, "Jaddidu imanakum akthiru min qawlin la ilaha illallah," where he said, renew your iman. Right? Do in abundance the word La ilaha illallah, and studying. Yeah, it's Zoom. It's on the Musalla Zoom. Zoom. Right. So so increase in saying La ilaha illallah, marhaba, ahla wa sahlan. Enough books today. So I didn't know who was coming. I brought 3 because I went to Zambal early on. So Habib there. It's Habib at Zambal. Habib was at Zambal. Right. Habib Omar. He was at Zambal this morning. Habib Omar was there. So I didn't carry so many books with me because I was like carrying the books around. So I only brought 3 books. But I have a lot. I have a lot more.
It's not in the hour.
Yes. I'm teaching it right now. So Faiza Akbar is in my class, Ibtida Awal. She's in her house. The Khala Salama Zata. MashaAllah. Right, so Faiza is in my class, Ibtida Awal. So I teach this book in Ibtida Awal. No, but mashallah. So if you go to Ibtida, you'll get the book in Arabic. It's the first book that you learn in Darul Zahra, Darul Mustafa, in Ibtida'il Awal. Yeah, but I teach in Darul Zahra in Arabic. Yeah, this is the English one. Yeah, so even in the Dawra also, it is the books that we learn. But it's just that for this class, because Muniba initiated this class, like I'm making this class to be, I'm taking my time in doing this class. So I'm not rushing through the syllabus as opposed to like the Daura and the Ruzah. I actually rush through the syllabus, get it in on for you see, I'm still Akal Mujmala since January. We're still here, mashallah. But because we're already taking in our Aqidah, inshallah, right? And the whole of the great benefits and deliver this somebody else. So when you take in something with full, ending of, and you don't just rush through the text, taking it, just on its surface value, but you actually go deep in the text, you can now deliver, right, this somebody else, right? And Allah knows in our zaman how many people need this. I want someone to bring these texts, which are they are very traditional texts, right, to the zaman. So if you look at the back of the book, I actually wrote a very short write-up on this text, whereby we wrote this manual consists of two foundational works of two great scholars in Islam, Imam Abdullah al-Haddad, Imam Ahmad al-Marzuqi. For centuries, this text has been memorized and taught in religious institutions in the Arab world, as well as in Southeast Asia, as the first text, right, that students of religion will use as an intro to the creed or aqidah of Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah. It is very important, these texts, right? And these texts are simple and profound, and they serve to increase a person's belief and conviction, right? Because aqidah is not just faith, right? It's not just, so usually you will say it's faith. No, iman is faith. No, iman is conviction. Translate the word iman is conviction. What is your aqidah? Your conviction. Your conviction, or you will say your admission, to admit to what is truth without any dispute. So you admit to what is, right? Because you say you believe in something that Ustad Zulkifli writes in always Singapore Ustad. He wrote that the word faith or the word belief in our zaman is taken to be subjective. Like some might say, and I believe in that. Like right now, you can say, I believe in 100 genders. La hawla wala quwwata illa billah. You can believe what you want to believe. I believe I'm this. I believe I'm that. You can say, I believe in stuff. It might not be true, right? So when we say iman, we say ما هو الاعتقادي يعني أعتقد بهذا. When I say aqidah or iman, what I mean is اعتراف بالحق. What I mean is, I am recognizing what is absolute truth in spite of myself. That is aqidah. Right? So recognizing what is absolute truth in spite of yourself. Right? So a person will say, I don't believe in the hereafter. I believe in the hereafter. So it's subjective. What you believe is not what I might believe. Belief is subjective. No, we say i'tiraf bil haqq. So a'lan wa a'lam wa a'tarif. It means I know without any doubt this is reality, happen regardless of me and you. Right? So I know when we die, definitely there is a barzakh. Whether or not I prepare myself for it, or whether or not I live my life believing in it, there is a barzakh, right? No, right? As a matter of fact, there is a day of judgment. You will be raised from your grave. You will be, regardless of people's beliefs. So, mashallah, when I was reading Suzuki's works in Singapore, he has a book called The Criteria, right, of a Holy Book. The Criteria of a Holy Book. And he actually begins by correcting the use of the word belief and faith in English. Because, I have faith in you. It could be with no reason. I have faith in you. I have faith in this. I have faith in that. What does faith mean? It seems something very airy. And because in English, we have been using a wrong word, people seem to think it's a choice. You could choose to have faith in something, believe in something. No, it is an i'tiraf. It is like for me to realize or to admit that there is a next world, there is a God, there is a hereafter. We are in a test. It is haqq, it's haqq. There is no two ways around it. Whether you like it or not, you will be questioned. You will have a yamul hisab. There is jannah, there is nar. Whether you like it or not. So our is not. So in the word in Fanya I use the word creed. I was thinking is Islamic faith, Islamic what? So I use the word creed. And it's something that you hold on very strongly to, because there is no two ways around this. There is no other truth except for this truth. It's one truth. You bring this to people, and you lay it out in front of them, especially our young. You don't actually have a choice to not pray. You don't actually have a choice. You must pray. Right? You don't have a choice to not want to obey. It's not actually a choice. You must obey the Creator. And if you refuse to do so, then the consequences. It's consequences. So if one say that la ikraha fi din, naam la ikraha fi din. There's no compulsion. There's no compulsion, but there are consequences, right? When I say there's no compulsion, do I mean no consequences? No, there are consequences. If someone refuses to believe in Islam, there are consequences. There are. And on a day of judgment, nobody can argue with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If this has been presented to somebody fully, the way that it is. So mashallah. So anyway, this is why we're taking our time going through this, mashallah, for us to get it deep and to help the people around us. And one of my intention, one of my niyats in doing this book, because the problem with aqidah, right? So you might meet or nieces, you might meet neighbors, you might meet friends, you might meet your children's friends, which people, when they have problems in aqidah, they go to their friends, especially youngsters. So when their friends have no clue how to answer their questions, and very few people actually go to asatiza. They have their own, circle. They go Google, they go whatsoever. So for every individual to be completely able, to address the issues that shaitan has implanted in the hearts of our youth, especially. This is why aqidah is very important. So everyone must have their role in this, because the religion, Rasulullah said, as people enter into Islam afwaja, that means in huge throes of people, they will exit from Islam afwaja. It's a hadith. It's prophecy. As long as, and just as how they enter into Islam in huge numbers, they will exit Islam in huge numbers. And we just went through the Dawra, which was a lineup last week, and she mentioned the king of the human being, right, is the iman in the heart. That's the king, and the in the heart. And the entire story of the Kibrit Ahmar, the Red Sulfur, is about the shaitan that's outside. And his goal is not to ruin the limbs of the kingdom, not to ruin the walls, ruin the pastures or whatsoever. No, the goal of shaitan is to kill the king. Right? So shaitan is not content in making you sin, right? But he wants to go right to the source of what will save a person, and that's the iman. Kill that. And so once he has killed the iman, now in his grasp. And he's going to drag this person to the hellfire with him. So shaitan is not content with just ma'asiyah. Ma'asiyah, he knows, shaitan knows, ma'asiyah is forgivable. Even for someone who made tawbah on their ma'asiyah, on the day of judgment, Allah can still forgive. He can still forgive. And so it's not shirk. And whatever ma'asiyah someone committed, on the day of judgment, even if there was a tawbah in the dunya, if Allah wants to forgive, he can. Any ma'asiyah, can. So shaitan, he knows this, but he knows with regards to shirk, dying on other than La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah, now he has sealed the deal, he has got his soul. So he's not content with just, no, he wants the killing of the iman. Yes, you have questions now?
It's shirk. We see as politics.
Mm.
We originally think of like Hindus or things like that. But really, it's the definition of shirk.
Yes.
So even atheism would be.
Yes. Yes. Because atheism, so the question is anything other than like for example, you say shirk, to ascribe partners to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is how you define the word shirk. So you might think, oh, praying to idols, right? Who prays to idols nowadays? Right? I mean, there are those who do pray to idols. So what about this dunya where majority of human beings are secular and godless? They live a godless life, even are there. They live a godless life, right? So the shirk that's going on here is the worship of the nafs, or worship of dunya, right? So there is a shirk going on, a worship of dunya or worship of the nafs. is a shirk going on. They are worshipping other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because the human being always worships. Because worship is what drives you. And so what drives you every morning? When you wake up in the morning, what do? You, for us, alhamdulillah, as believers, take wudu. First thing us, do your siwak, take wudu, pray rakats. Alhamdulillah for Islam. I cannot imagine a life that does not begin that way. Like you wonder people who wake up in the morning and the first thing they do is Allah, what do people do? Because for us we're so accustomed. Wake up in the morning, Alhamdulillah, ahyana wa amatana wa alayhi nushur. And your du'as, you do your Quranic verses, Surah Al-Iman, and you go and do your wudu. And this is ni'mah. It's blessing. You wake up every morning you wake up like that as a believer. And you wonder, what do atheists do? When they wake up in the morning, what do? Wake up in the morning, okay, food or go for a run or like exercise or work, job, like our first thing is subuh, or tahajjud, or like the first thing at least subuh, okay, at least subuh. Fajr prayer. If not, what time is it? Oh, tahajjud. Okay, come. And you drive until sunrise. Is akhirah, right? Our entire life until sunrise is about what? Akhirah. That's how you should live your life, mashallah. So on the other side, your question, on the atheist side, what are they serving? The human being serves no matter what. They are serving something. Right? They serve no matter what. So you're serving Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, right? Or you're serving your nafs and hawa and shaitan and dunya. Right? It's one of the two. So shaitan in Islam, so there is shirk there. And also believers can fall, as how Islam has explained to us, believers can fall into a hidden shirk. Right? And that is right? So doing something for other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And in that situation, you can extend that to doing any work you do in the day whereby Allah is not your focus. And that brings in our intentions, our niyat. Right? So when you bring your kids to school, right? All the intentions must be in. You're going to go to your own workplace. All the niyats must be in. You're going to start cooking for the family. All the niyats must be in. What drives you to do all of these things? It has to be otherworldly. Believe it's in the other world. If you're doing all these things and it's not otherworldly, ya khusran. What a waste. You're doing so many things in 24 hours, you're doing so many things in a day. It is not geared to the other world. You're wasting your time. And as a believer, you should stop doing that. As a believer, and this living a life like this, right? It eliminates every form of wasting of time. Think about it. Could someone go on TikTok or Facebook and do like ridiculous stuff, whatever, right? And be geared to the akhirah. It can't come together. It cannot come together. Right? Even bring your kids out to the park to play, it can be akhirah geared. Like I want to bond my children, so they try more, they have a strong bond. So when I teach them about Islam, right, they will believe in me. When they have problems, they will come to me and talk to me and so on and so forth. Right? Even in spending time with the family, you can have good intentions. But going to a movie, what's your good intention? Are you actually bonding as family? What's the good intention? You can put there, oh, I want to like what? So this entire thing of being akhirah focus actually protects so much nonsense that you don't actually want to answer for on a day of judgment. Right? So you hold up your phone, what's your intention? So when you click on YouTube, what's your intention? Where are you going with this? Right? You go to Habib's page. Right? Or you go you go and scroll, watch cats, good intention cats. Some love cats, yeah. And you try to make a good intention in regards to watching cats, because I watch cats sometimes. They're so funny. Rest for my soul to watch funny cats on. Someone asked a question online that day. She asked, is it okay, because I was reading TikTok, like, is it okay that I watch pandas and cats? Someone asked, yes, okay, make good intentions. Like Allah's creation, pandas and cats. Yes. Nah, good intention, mashallah.
Yeah. I need to be set my intentions so that I'm just because I one is not okay, but then on the other hand, to read any
Mm.
idea of how
Good question. She asked about exercise. Right. So exercise, you have tons of questions. So for example, to keep your body healthy for ibadah. Right? Because it's really with your body getting very unhealthy, you're unable to do more and more ibadah. You get lethargic, you see the harbas here, mashallah. I wonder about the harbas here, mashallah. You've seen them in Ramadan. 20 rak'ahs tarawih. Then they're doing like 5 cycles of qada, subuh, dhuhr, asar, maghrib, isha, 5 cycles. 25 salats. If you see 11 witir after that, they're doing the hizb. So this energy, you need energy for this. You need to be healthy. I watch them and I'm like, oh, subhanallah, how in we are young, we are like, it's so difficult to go up and down. And they pray, sure, sujo stand up, sujo stand up, sujo stand up. Allah. It's health. So you can intend, right, to get more umrah, to do more hajj, right? Because health, you need health to go for umrah and hajj. It's difficult once you don't have health, right? So in taking a run, in going for a jog, your body's an amana on you, right? Eating healthy, your body's an amana on you, right? So you kind of like, you need to really, mashallah. So according to our book, we are at the yeah, that's page 3. So we are with 39. We have finished the angels, is it? We were the purpose the last lesson. So so this is Aqidatul Mujmala. It is written by Imam al-Aqidah, is an all-encompassing Aqidah. And this Aqidah, it is read. You can read it every day, right? And this Aqidah, it is enough for, like what I would say, like for a beginner, like a convert or a child. This Aqidah brings a lot of tasawwuf into it, right? So when you teach this to a child or convert or someone who's new to Islam, right, you don't go into the 20 sifat yet, because it's too much. 20 sifat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is too much for someone who's brand new to Islam. So you go here, are you convinced with Allah as your God? It means Allah is the one who controls your life. Allah is the one who knows what happens to you. Allah is the one who decrees for you. Then you go with Islam as a religion, with the Sharia of Islam, to love what's in Islam. I was talking to Anisa this morning as well on our trip, Zamba, and I was saying to her that because she was discussing something about parenting, she's doing some parenting courses, right? And she was asking me about the title of the classes, and I to her, something in line with Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So you saw her title right now about the perfect human being. Yeah, because you don't want to go so secular and saying the holistic child, but do something to show what's our manhaj. So always have the word Rasulullah somewhere. So to show that we're not trying to develop a holistic child, we're trying to develop a complete Muslim. That's what we want. Because holistic in the dunyawi sense might not be what is best for the human being. Right? So who's your goal? Rasulullah. He is the insan kamil, the perfect human being. Right? So what the might tell you about holistic child might not be in line with what Islam shows us. It might not be, because what the secular world says is human understanding, and it's also human in theory, right? But what we hear from what we Islam, it is perfect. We know it is correct. There is no question. So whatever he does, in his physical self, in his intellectual self, in his emotional self, in his spiritual self, we know that is our ghaya, that is our goal. That is perfect. You get it? And that is why when you hear years ago, Habib Tahir, may Allah protect him wherever he is. Habib Tahir, he was teaching parenting here in Tarim. He was doing his thesis, kan? One day I remember him saying was that we have uswatun hasana. We have the perfect example in front of us, our Prophet, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And he was saying, so we don't actually have to look at all our theories out there, because we have this perfect example in front of us to tell us what is the correct way of tarbiyah, what is the correct way of being a husband, or being a slave, or being a friend, or being a leader, or being whatever that he was, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Is there? If you want something more woman, the Fatima Zahra is there. She's right there. the perfect wife, of being a daughter, of being all the woman's side. He's started a Rasul, it is right there. Like subhanAllah. So you have no nowhere else to know how to bring up your children, to know how to be a husband or wife, or to know how to be a friend, or to know how to be a leader, or to know how to be anything in your life. You have right there the perfect example. So even all these books there is just the ideas of human beings, which might not be in line with what we see in the perfect human being. No, mashallah. So I was just speaking to her about this. Saying to her that the books that I write for the primary school is called We. And of course, a lot of niyas in there. I told Hawaba about the title because I wanted a title that was easy enough for children to understand. I don't want a title whereby it's like Islamic creed in it. Right, the kids will be like, what is this seed? Inshallah. Yeah, so the word is We Love Islam. The book is called We Love Islam because it's for 7-year-olds to 12-year-olds. So I wanted a title that children can relate. Right, which kid won't understand? We love Islam. Right. And then I told Hawaba about a title that I chose for this book. So it's from me. That's from me. Right, I told Hawaba to get the Fatiha from Hawaba, the Barakah from Hawaba for the title. And I said that I want something simple, kids can understand, and it encompasses everything they need in this religion. Because once they love Islam, in Islam, though, it's Allah. They love Allah. They love Rasulullah. They love the Sharia. It's all under the Aqidah. Imam al-Hadar radina billahi rabba wa bil Islam Muhammad sallallahu alaihi nabi wa rasulah wa bil Quran imama wa bil Ka'bah the Qibla wa bil mu'minina ikhwana. So this entire Aqidah is the whole of Islam. Right? So radina means we are content, so we love it. So when this book we write, right, we love Allah as our God. We love Islam as our religion, so that in this intention, they love every law of Islam. So whatever law comes from Islam, they love it. Cover yourself. You need hijab, they love it. Right? Pray for them today, they love it. Right? Read Quran every day, they love it. Right? Do your dhikr, they love it. Stay away from the media, they love it. MashaAllah. So that was in the niyat about the niyat of why the book is called We Love Islam. So they love everything about Nabi. And anyone who says anything or has a life that is against the life of my Prophet, I don't like these people. I like my Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So this blocks them, inshallah, from all that's in the media, of the sitcoms and Disney Channel and like Nickelodeon and the nonsense is in the media, right? They don't like it. But we love what's with the Sahaba, what's with the Sahabiyat, what's with Rasulullah, anything to do with him, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So on and so forth. So the whole aqidah. Radina bil Qur'ani imama. So everything to do with the Quran, they love it. From the stories to the parables to the lessons to the warnings, everything in the Quran. And mashallah, so I told her about the entire niyat behind the name of the book, We Love Islam. And she was like, Fatiha, mashallah. And I told Aisha as well to tell Habib, because she brought the book to Habib Omar, right? And then I told also that I named it, and I asked for anyone to give me a name for it because I wanted the name to be simple in English. I was afraid if I asked for a name from the Arabs, they might give me a name that if I translate into English, it becomes this very complicated term. Possible, right? It's possible. Like, so like, for example, if they say, I don't know, like what they might give. Because the book in Malay was Asas Agamis. In English sounds very difficult. It's the foundations of the religion of Islam. The foundation. So my 7-year-old might not know what in the world is foundation, right? So that's why I wanted to make it something that they can hold and read it every single time. It becomes a dua. They get the We Love Islam book, We Love Islam book, we love. So like half the time they're holding the book in their mind, they're saying We Love Islam, We Love Islam, We Love. Is the whole putting into their body the aqidah of that we love everything about being a Muslim, everything. MashaAllah. So this is sir or the secret in Aqidah Mujmala. The whole part of Radina billahi Rabba wa bil Islami Dina wa bi Sayyidina Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam Nabiyya wa Rasula. And it's a hadith whereby Rasul said that if doubt comes to you, in fact, I'm not sure if I mentioned it in this book or not, but there is a hadith whereby shaitan will come to a person, right? And he'll begin to whisper to this person, And I put it sorry in the middle of this book as well. It's the story is there, right? The hadith. And he wishes the person, he will say to the person, who created I? And you say, Allah. Who created the earth? Allah. Who created you? Allah. And Shaitan will say, and who created Allah? So Rasulullah in the hadith says, say, Raditu billahi rabba wa Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Say that. I don't even answer shaitan in what he says. Just say amantu billah. Amantu billah. I believe in Allah. Wa raditu billahi rabba. I am pleased that Allah is my Lord. I do not want anything besides this. What Islam did, I don't want any other religion except this is religion of Islam. And Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Nabi wa Rasul. I don't want anybody else except my Nabi as my role example. And so, mashallah, a lot of niyats, into this aqidah, Imam al-Haddad. So you put it into your children. This zaman, we need it so badly for our young to grow up in this way, that they embrace their religion or identity as being a Muslim. Subhanallah. So continuing, we are actually at this part. Right? So with regards to وَبِكُلِّ رَسُولٍ أَرْسَلَهُ اللَّهُ تَعَالَى, and every prophet who is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has sent. Right? So last week, the four traits that is wajib in the right of prophets, which is conveyance, tabligh. Then you have intelligence, fatana. Right? You have truthfulness, as-sidq. And you have trustworthiness, right? So on page 38, So amana, infallible. So these four traits is wajib on prophets. Last week I told a story about the man who came into Islam because he loved prophets so much. But in the Christians, right, they tend to place sin on prophets. There's a lot of slander against prophets with the Christians. So as a Christian growing up, he loved the prophets. He had ta'zim for the prophets. So when he opened the Bible to read more about, to his horror, the prophets are murderers, they are alcoholics, they are fornicators, they are all kinds of rubbish in the Bible, right, about prophets. So he left Christianity altogether. He could not take the sinners like that until Allah guided him by his love for the Anbiya. And Allah guided him to Islam. And he found in Islam, our aqidah says, mustahil, impossible for prophets to even commit a makruh on purpose. Prophets can commit mistakes. Mistakes, yes, it's human to commit mistakes. Like Nabi Adam, he forgot mistakes. Nabi Yunus, as we went through it, Nabi Yunus, he had an oversight about something. He overlooked something, right? So he didn't realize that he was given permission to leave the town, and he left the town without permission. Nabi Yunus was in an oversight about something, right? So, and every prophet, they had their mistakes, them human. It makes them human, but not non-prophets. Right? So they have never done a sin on purpose to disobey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, no. Right? But mistakes, within their abilities to make mistakes as human beings, right? So, so with regards to the four traits, right? The first one is conveyance. That is why they are sent. If we understand the three roles of prophets, what are they? Three roles of prophets. The first role is to bring the message. That's the main role, to bring the message, right? To human beings. The second role of prophets, to be examples to human beings, right? To be examples to human beings. The third role of prophets is to be an hujjah, a proof and argument in this dunya and the akhirah. Tamam. Right? The roles of prophets. So the first role is tabligh, right? To deliver the message, because that is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, has placed on them. That is their main role. Second role is that they are to act out the message. So they can't be delivering something that they themselves are not doing it. Because we even as Muslims, right, how has it shaken societies when the imams or the mashayikh are found to commit sins? You ever seen that happen? When the imams or their religious leaders, they are religious and they are leaders, and they are found out to commit terrible sins, the ummah gets shaken. That cannot happen for prophets. Because what we do, if a prophet will commit sin, then we will be at a loss. Already you just the ulama, we cannot handle it. If someone say that is so and so and so and so did this and that, like we're like, "La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah." You can feel your heart shake, especially if you've been following this sheikh or this ustad for so long. Then you find out they've been doing something so haram. Like your heart, your iman will shake. Right? Because we are hinging ourselves onto them. Subhanallah. So it's Allah's divine wisdom that prophets cannot sin. Impossible. There's under amanah. They have the to act on the Sharia exactly as Allah has sent it down. Right? So, because why? To not do so, the opposite is khiyana. The khiyana is to be treacherous. Right? So someone who has khiyana, it's as if you have betrayed as your follower. Like if you tell me I must be truthful, then you lie. Like I feel betrayed. That you are telling me all these laws and I'm doing them, then you don't do them. You feel a betrayal. As it is amana and khiyana. So for us, mustahil, because it affects the ummah. If any of them were to sin, because they are sahibul sharia, they carry the sharia, so they will show the best of sharia in front of us, and in fact we can't even match up to them with regards to the sharia, the prophets. So in Islam, the four traits. So there's conveyance, so there's tabligh, right? There is a tabligh conveyance. So it's part of their job to convey. Right? So whatever Allah reveals to them, they must inform the people. So fatana comes in with regards to hujjah. Right? They have to come and deliver the message and be able to shut down argument. Right? So they must be smart. So Nabi Ibrahim is very smart in fatana. Very smart. Like all prophets are given the highest intellect, of their zaman, without any doubt. And following them are the ulama. If you have just heard Habib Omar, just heard Habib Omar, Habib Abu Bakr Adani, the kind of genius in our ummah, Allah will not place this kind of genius to the non-Muslims. No, this kind of genius only comes with iman. Like Allah gives the best intellect to our ulama. Look at Imam Ghazali, right? The Fatan, subhanallah. And these are non-prophets. Like they are ulama, and you're so mind blown by how smart they are. So smart, Imam Ghazali. You know his book, Imam Ghazali. He breaks apart the human so expertly. He's breaking apart a human being, and he says, "There's a problem with a human being, and this problem, and this problem, and this problem. Solution." It's Imam Ghazali, mashallah. Look through his book, Minhaj al-Abidin, the one that is doing every Tuesday. Now. Ya Allah, the book is so the book compared to his other books. It's Minhaj al-Abidin is so thin, but it's pure genius. Imam Ghazali, how he breaks down our entire life into 7 hurdles, 7 stages in life. That's all. Your whole life under 7 groups, 7 hurdles. Full stop. If you can understand this, mashallah, who in the world can do that? Subhanallah. Right, but they got it from prophets. So prophets said, Fatana, why? We must handle these people who are argumentative. Right? So for example, in the ummah, someone comes and argues with you about Aqidah. If you are not sharp in your mind and you don't have enough knowledge, you might be stumped, right? And because of your own shortcoming in your knowledge and your sharpness of mind, they will say, Islam's not true. You will say, no, I'm just not smart. So don't blame Islam, it's me. I'm just jahil, I have no knowledge and I'm not smart. So I don't know how to respond. I'll bring you to someone who has knowledge and is smart, right? And I'm sure they can bring you down, right? Or bring your arguments down. And that happened in the time of Imam Abu Hanifa, the small boy. When he was a small child, there was this that came forward and kept asking questions to challenge the Muslims. Imam Abu Hanifa, he got up and he answered all the questions eloquently in his young boy because he has fatana. He was smart. Mashallah. I can't remember the story. The story goes, the atheist was saying that, in which way is Allah facing right now? This kind of questions now. So the book is in the Middle of Islam book. I put all the stories in the Middle of Islam book. It's all in the P1 to P6. It's all there. So Imam Abu Hanifa stories in the Wheel of Islam book. See how you call it the Wheel of Islam book, Wheel of Islam book, Wheel of Islam book. So every time you say you're making dua, Wheel of Islam. So the story of Imam Abu Hanifa, the atheist was asking this, was passing around being arrogant because the Muslims don't know how to answer him. So he kept saying, "Oh, your religion is not true. You have no answers to my question." So finally, Imam Abu Hanifa came, and he was a small boy at the time, and he said, "I will answer you." Imam Abu Hanifa, and then the atheist was like, "What? You small boy answering me? Ugh, you don't know anything. If no one else can answer me, not you." And but Imam Abu Hanifa said, "I will answer." He was a small boy at the time, and his name was Nu'man, and he's called Abu Hanifa later on. Small boy Abu Hanifa, but he was Imam Abu Hanifa. So the man says, "Okay, first question: which way is God facing right now?" Right, and Imam Abu Hanifa, he said, "Give me a candle." So he got a candle, he lit, and then he asked the atheist, "Which way is the light facing right now?" Oh, it's a candle, right? Which way? Which way? Which is like is light facing? If you light a candle, which way is the light facing? Always, in all the ways. You don't know. Do you know what's a candle? Okay, show her a candle. So the it was like it's facing all directions, right? It's a candle. It's facing all directions. Hanifa said, "This is a light of the world. What do you think of one who is described Nur Samawati wal Ard?" You Sultana for that. And not anyone can answer the question in that way. A child, this child has genius. Subhanallah. So what do you think about Nur Samawati wal Ard? What do you think about that? If a simple candle you can't describe. Subhanallah. So he brought the man to a higher aqidah. You can't describe. You can't say which way. Even a candle that is physical, you can't describe. Which way? Which way? You can't describe. So what more the one who described to be the light of the heavens and the earth? You can't describe it. Then the man said, "Okay, fine. Okay, next question." Right, next question. He said, "What was there before Allah?" Hey, what was there before Allah? No. What was there before Allah? And Imam Hanifa said to the man, "It's all fatana, ya Allah." And this is not even a prophet. Our Prophet Sallallahu is even like they said billion times higher in their genius that they had. Allah gives them. So the man said, the Imam Abu Hanifa says to the man, "Count down from 10. Count down from 10." So the man goes 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then Imam Abu Hanifa says, "What's before 1?" And the man says 0. Then Abu Hanifa says, "Precisely. Allah is one. Wallahu ahad. There is no beginning for him. So there is none before him because he has no beginning." Subhanallah. Answer the question. No, inshallah. So there was a kid, he was a kid when he answered this. Even adults, you're like, how do you answer these kind of questions? And then and last question. The atheist, what is God doing right now? Right. This is another question. There's another answer to this question, but I'll share later on. Right. So Imam Abu Hanifa at that time, the man on a pedestal, right? And Imam Abu Hanifa was, in the crowd. So he said, Imam Abu Hanifa said, "Before me to answer that question, I need to go up to where you're at, so everybody could hear me loud and clear." So the man said, "Fine." From the pedestal, right? And Imam Abu Hanifa went up the pedestal. And he said, "Allah has just brought truth to be above falsehood." Raise truth and debase falsehood. So you're down there, I'm up here. No, mashallah. Hey, mashallah. There's another Imam who was asked that question. What's Allah doing right now? And the Imam says, "Inna Allah wa malaikatahu yusalluna ala nabi." So right now, Allah is doing salawat. Nas Quran. Quran says, Allah doing salawat. It's from the Quran, what? Right? You can't argue that. Inna Allah wa malaikatahu yusalluna ala nabi.
Afwan Ustaza, I think you're muted. We cannot hear you.
Oh, I was speaking from just now. Now,
Prophet, it's possible for them to do mistakes, but it's impossible for them to do fast.
now, correct, correct. So sorry, people online. Was I muted from just now? See lah. Just muted or just unmute? Oh, Tasnim called me. Just, is it just? The last you heard was Hanifa or just unmute. How long was I muted? Sorry. Okay, later. Nah, that's why lah. I didn't notice. Maybe it disconnected and it connected again. Then it made me mute. No. I think it was just now. 5 minutes. Okay. Anyway, we will continue next week, inshallah. Rasulullah ala Sayyidina Muhammadin. Now.
So you see the conveyance and intelligence.
Now. So therefore.
The stories
The stories.
that you just mentioned
The one it comes under fatana and the intellect, intelligence, fatana. So the fourth, there is one for prophets. You have tabligh, and there is conveyance, fatana, intelligence. You have sidq, truthfulness, and amana. Amana is used to understand infallibility. To be infallible means you can't sin. Right? But the word amana is used because they carry the amana of Sharia. So they cannot sin. It's called ma'asum. Right? Ma'asum, they're unable to sin. Okay. Fatiha.
This people. So they found leadership. So it is not something that's given. So there's that one that they
The answer. صلى الله عليه وسلم. الفاتحة. فاتحة. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إن الإنسان السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Now. Was it? I can't hear. Yes, Tawheed, Aqidah, same thing. Yes. Inshallah. It's in the Wheel of Islam book. It's all there. I don't know how to have it other countries. I have a sample, but I don't know how to bring it to other countries. I don't have copies of it. I have a sample. I have a sample set. Yeah, if you can help me. I will